So here we are, a seminal moment in my life to meet the great Captain Knowledge Bhengu from Umlazi in Durban. Captain Bhengu, as many of you will know, captains the 2.1 billion rand icebreaker SA Gullis 2. And I am fortunate enough to have Captain Bhengu as my guest tonight at this talk in Cape Town. And he has graciously agreed to a short interview to camera, for which I'm very grateful, Captain Bhengu.
Pleasure.
Now, Captain Bhengu, I would love you to share with my listeners and viewers how difficult it was for a young lad from Umlazi in Durban to enter the Navy when you entered the Navy, because I'm sure the barriers to entry were extreme at that time.
Yeah, when I started my career, of course, we were one of the first group to enter into the merchant Navy. So when I went to study in Antarctic from high school, it was straight into maritime studies. So yeah, I had some challenges, especially due to acceptance. You know, some people are very resistant to change, of course, and but then it took some resilience and dedication, and the fact that it wasn't just for myself, it was just for the whole nation at large in terms of sort of integration. So I had a very good positive mind in terms of knowing what I could face in terms of the challenges. So my mindset was correct.
That is just fantastic. You know, and I'm so proud coming from Natal. I live in Howick and I grew up in the Midlands, that the captain of the Gullis comes from KwaZulu-Natal. I'm very proud of that indeed, because the Zulus are not really a seafaring and a swimming nation in terms of their history, are they?
Well, I was quite fortunate that my next door neighbor was a seafarer. He was working for Unicorn. So as a bosun, and he later became a training instructor, and eventually went to Philippines with his partner to start a training institution there. So I think I was one of the very fortunate ones to have a very early introduction into the marine industry. So I knew from that moment on, after he convinced me to teach medicine, so then that's how I got into it.
Were you going to study medicine?
Yes, I was sort of directed into medicine, because obviously medicine was reachable for black people. I mean, being at sea as an officer, let alone being a captain, you know, you couldn't dream towards that because it was just not attainable. So you were limited into the scope of what you can become.
Well, I'll tell you, there's no doubting the intellectual horsepower of this remarkable man, having swung away from medicine and going into seafaring and now captaining the Gullis. Now, Captain, it must have been such a great moment for you when you were in a deep sleep and they came and woke you on board the SA Gullis and said, "We have found the Endurance." Tell my viewers a little about that moment again, please, because it's very special in my memory.
No, it is. It's a very profound experience, especially, you know, when we work at sea, you know, we already work very long hours. It's a 6-hour rotation between myself and the ice pilot, Captain Freddy Lechtele, which I respect a lot. But having been in my shoes, he chose to ignore the rest hours, which is a legal requirement, because, you know, we had achieved our goal. You know? So, yeah, he decided, you know, maybe he should wake me up, which he did, and I was in a very deep sleep. And as I've said, it was already a long stint. I'd done a voyage before the Weddell Sea, so meaning I've been on board since November. And getting to the 5th of March, which was D-Day, I had already worked quite long months, and obviously had completed a very challenging Antarctic voyage. So that moment, I still remember it quite vividly, because sort of recharged myself, it rejuvenated everything and anything, every part of my body actually. So he called me and said, "Listen, this is Captain Freddy Lechtele, the ice pilot. We have found the Endurance." I was like, "What? No ways." He said, "Yes, you found the Endurance." I mean, immediately from there, I jumped off the bed straight into the shower, and I was just never tired. And when I got to the bridge, Nico, who was the project manager, showed me on the phone. There she was, in a pristine condition, looking as new, just as new as yesterday. From that, I was like, we've made history. This is big. I just know that my name will go down in history, and even when the generations to come, the Bhengus, will forever know about me. So I won't be forgotten. I'm certain of that.
Well, Captain Bhengu, rightly so. And what a remarkably humble, special man Captain Bhengu is. For those of you who don't know, the ship was discovered on the 5th of March 2022, which indeed is the centenary to the day of the burial of Ernest Shackleton at Grytviken on South Georgia. And Captain Bhengu was recently interviewed on Carte Blanche, South African TV. And I want to just go over a comment that he made, because he said 100 years ago, ships were made of wood and men were made of steel. And today, perhaps, the ships are made of steel and the men are made of wood. Come, tell us a little about that, Captain. It was such a special comment.
Well, obviously, we come from a generation where, not me, myself, but the shipping itself, where captain would employ his own crew, crew would have a contract with the captain, which these days, the office part of the HR of the companies, they do the most, and you still sort of have what is called an article, which sort of gives you an upper hand over and above your crew for them to do as you say instead of question. But obviously, these days with so many rights and everything else, you find people have a lot to say. They're too fragile in terms of, based on the fact that they know what is right, what is wrong. It's no longer about, let's get the job done. We've got so many regulations, hours of rest, where else before, even when I started, we used to work to get the job done. Now there's so many sort of rules and regulations and crew welfare and wellness. All those things do contribute into what I deem as seafarers made out of wood, because they're sort of like more fragile than the hardcore seafarers that they were.
Well, look, I think there's a lesson in that for us all, particularly for the youth of today. And I just want to thank Captain Bhengu on the special moment of meeting him in Cape Town for his time, his eloquence, and his agreement to this short video. And I have no doubting that each and every one of you have enjoyed a little insight into this very special man, South Africa's own Captain Knowledge Bhengu. Thank you, Captain Bhengu.